Part 1. The weakness that destroys you. You lose control. That's your problem. When someone disrespects you, when someone challenges you, when someone pushes your buttons, you react. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, your voice rises, your mind floods with anger, with frustration, with the desperate need to respond, to defend, to attack. And in that moment, you lose. You think you're standing up for yourself. You think you're showing strength. You think you're defending your honor. But you're not. You're showing weakness. You're revealing that other people control you, that external events dictate your internal state, that someone else can push a button and make you dance like a puppet. This is the brutal truth. The moment you lose your calm, you lose your power. The moment you react emotionally, you hand control to whoever provoked you. The moment you let someone else determine how you feel, how you think, how you act, you become their slave. And they know this. The DZGZ, people who push your buttons, the people who provoke you, the people who try to destabilize you, they know exactly what they're doing. They're testing you. They're measuring you. They're checking to see if you're a threat or just another emotional reactor who can be manipulated with a few words. When you react, when you lose your composure, when you let anger take over, you send a clear message. I am not in control. I am not disciplined. I am not dangerous. I am predictable. And predictable. People are weak people. Predictable people can be controlled. Predictable people can be defeated. The powerful don't react. They respond. There's a difference. A reaction is emotional, immediate, unconscious. A response is calculated, delayed, strategic. A reaction comes from the primitive brain, the part that wants to fight or flee. A response comes from the higher mind, the part that sees 3 moves ahead. And here's what you need to understand. Staying calm is not about suppressing your emotions. It's not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's not about being a robot. It's about maintaining control. It's about choosing your response instead of letting your emotions choose for you. The ancients understood this. They developed systems to master emotional control, not to eliminate emotions, but to harness them. To feel everything, but show nothing. To maintain absolute composure even when chaos surrounds them. To operate with ice-cold clarity regardless of circumstances. This is what absolute cold means. It means your external state is independent of your internal experience. It means you can be burning with rage inside while appearing perfectly calm outside. It means you control when, where, and how your emotions are expressed. It means nobody can make you react unless you decide to react. And when you master this, when you achieve absolute cold, you become untouchable. You become unreadable. You become dangerous because people fear what they cannot control. And they cannot control someone who cannot be provoked. Part 2. The physiology of calm. Your body betrays you. Every time someone triggers you, your body reacts before your mind even processes what happened. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles tighten. Your hands clench. Your jaw locks. These are automatic responses controlled by your nervous system. Most people try to control their emotions with their mind. They tell themselves to calm down. They try to think their way out of anger. They attempt to rationalize their feelings, and it doesn't work because emotion doesn't start in the mind. It starts in the body. And if you want to control your emotions, you need to control your physiology first. This is the secret the ancients discovered thousands of years ago. Control the body. Control the mind. When you regulate your breathing, your heart rate follows. When you relax your muscles, your nervous system calms. When you control your physical state, your emotional state adjusts automatically. The first technique is breath control, not regular breathing, strategic breathing. When conflict appears, when someone provokes you, when you feel the surge of emotion rising, you immediately take control of your breath. You slow it down deliberately. You breathe in for 4 counts. You hold for 4 counts. You breathe out for 6 counts. You repeat. This is not meditation. This is warfare. You're hijacking your nervous system. You're forcing your body out of fight or flight mode and into calm alert mode. Your brain receives the signal. We are not in danger. We are in control. We are calm. And your emotions follow. The second technique is muscle relaxation. Tension creates more tension. When your body is tight, your mind becomes aggressive. When your muscles are clenched, your thoughts become hostile. So you deliberately relax. You drop your shoulders. You unclench your jaw. You loosen your fists. You soften your face. This feels counterintuitive. Your instinct is to tense up, to prepare for battle, to show aggression. But that's exactly what they want. They want to see you tighten. They want to see you react. They want confirmation that they got to you. When you relax instead, when you remain loose and fluid, you deny them that satisfaction. And more importantly, you maintain control. The third technique is deliberate delay. When someone says something provocative, when someone challenges you, when someone disrespects, you pause. Not a short pause, a long one, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, as long as it takes for the emotional surge to pass. During this pause, you breathe, you relax, you observe what's happening inside you without acting on it. You feel the anger rising and you let it rise without expressing it. You notice the urge to respond and you don't obey it. You create space between stimulus and response. And in that space, you reclaim control. Most people cannot do this. They feel compelled to respond immediately. They feel like silence is weakness. They feel like delay is submission. But it's the opposite. Immediate reaction is weakness. Silence is power. Delay is dominance. Because the person who controls the timing controls the interaction. The fourth technique is physical grounding. When you feel yourself getting triggered, you focus on physical sensations. The feeling of your feet on the ground, the texture of the surface you're touching, the temperature of the air, the weight of your body. You anchor yourself in physical reality instead of getting swept away by mental chaos. This pulls you out of your head and into your body. It stops the spiral of reactive thoughts. It interrupts the emotional hijacking, and it gives you back control over your state. These techniques work, not sometimes, always, because they're based on physiology, not psychology. They're based on how your nervous system actually functions, not on positive thinking or willpower. And when you practice them consistently, when you train your body to default to calm instead of chaos, you develop absolute cold. Part 3. The mindset of the untouchable. Physiology is the foundation, but mindset is the structure. Because even if you control your body perfectly, if your mind is still reactive, you will eventually break. You need to rewire how you interpret conflict, how you perceive challenges, how you understand confrontation. The first mental shift is this: nothing is personal. When someone attacks you, insults you, challenges you, it's not about you, it's about them. It's about their insecurity, their weakness, their need to feel powerful by making you feel small. And the moment you take it personally, the moment you let their words define your reality, you give them power. The ancients called this the mirror principle. They understood that when people attack you, they're revealing themselves, not evaluating you. An insecure person attacks to feel secure. A weak person attacks to feel strong. A threatened person attacks to eliminate threats. Their attack is a confession of their internal state. So when someone tries to provoke you, you don't see it as an attack. You see it as information. You see it as a window into their psychology. You see it as a strategic advantage, because now you know what they fear. Now you know what they lack. Now you know how to control them. The second mental shift is detachment. You need to separate your identity from your circumstances. Most people are so identified with their ego, with their image, with what others think of them, that any challenge feels like a threat to their existence. So they defend desperately. They fight aggressively. They react emotionally. But when you detach, when you stop caring about being right, being respected, being acknowledged, you become invulnerable. Because there's nothing to attack. Someone insults you, that's their opinion. Someone challenges you, that's their problem. Someone disrespects you, that's their weakness. None of it touches who you actually are. This is not about being passive. This is not about accepting disrespect. This is about understanding that your value is not determined by external validation. Your worth is not defined by what others say. Your power is not dependent on how others treat you. You are complete within yourself. And when you operate from that place, nobody can destabilize you. The third mental shift is outcome independence. Most people lose their income because they're attached to outcomes. They need the other person to agree. They need to win the argument. They need to be acknowledged as right. They need validation. And that need creates vulnerability. When you're attached to outcomes, you can be controlled through outcomes. When you need something from the interaction, the other person can withhold it to manipulate you. When you care about winning, you can be baited into losing. When you need to be right, you can be provoked into being wrong. Absolute cold requires that you release attachment to outcomes. You engage in conflict not to win, but to remain in control. You respond not to convince, but to maintain your position. You speak not to change minds, but to express truth. And whether they agree, whether they submit, whether they acknowledge you is irrelevant, because your state is independent of their response. The fourth mental shift is long-term thinking. Reactive people think in moments. They respond to immediate provocations with immediate reactions. They operate in the now without considering the consequences, and they lose. You need to think in campaigns, not battles. Every interaction is part of a larger pattern. Every response builds or destroys your reputation. Every reaction reveals or conceals your character. When someone provokes you, you don't think, how do I respond to this insult? You think, how do I want to be perceived 6 months from now? And when you think long-term, when you see the bigger picture, most provocations become irrelevant. Most insults become noise. Most conflicts become distractions, and you don't waste energy on them. You preserve your calm. You maintain your position. You move forward. This is the mindset of the untouchable. This is how you think when you have absolute cold. And when you combine this mindset with controlled physiology, you become someone who cannot be shaken, cannot be provoked, cannot be controlled. Part 4. The strategic use of silence. Silence is your most powerful weapon. Most people don't understand this. They think they need to respond to everything. They think silence is weakness. They think speaking is power. But it's the opposite. Words are cheap. Silence is expensive. Words reveal. Silence conceals. Words react. Silence dominates. When someone attacks you verbally, your instinct is to defend, to explain, to justify, to counterattack. But every word you speak is information you give away. Every explanation is a weakness you reveal. Every justification is a vulnerability you expose. And the more you talk, the more ammunition you provide. Silence does the opposite. Silence creates pressure. Silence creates discomfort. Silence forces the other person to fill the void, and when they fill it, they reveal themselves. They expose their intentions. They show their desperation. They demonstrate their need for your reaction. The ancients understood this deeply. They practiced strategic silence as a form of psychological warfare. When insulted, they said nothing. When challenged, they said nothing. When provoked, they said nothing. And their silence was more devastating than any words could be. Because silence communicates power. It communicates that you're unbothered. It communicates that their attack didn't land. It communicates that you're operating on a different level. And most importantly, it communicates that you're in control. Because the person who needs to speak is the person who needs validation. The Person who can remain silent is the person who needs nothing. Here's how you use strategic silence in conflict. When someone says something provocative, you pause, you look at them, you maintain eye contact, you breathe, and you say nothing. You let the silence stretch. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, as long as necessary. During this silence, watch what happens. The other person becomes uncomfortable. They start to doubt themselves. They wonder if you heard them. They wonder if their words had impact. They wonder if they need to escalate, and often they do. They say more, they reveal more, they weaken their own position, and you still say nothing. You simply observe, you gather information, you assess their state, you measure their control, and when you finally respond, if you respond, it's not emotional, it's not defensive, it's calm, it's measured, it's strategic. Sometimes you don't respond with words at all. Sometimes a look is enough. A slight smile, a raised eyebrow, a subtle nod. These non-verbal responses communicate everything without saying anything. They show that you're amused, not threatened. They show that you're engaged, not reactive. They show that you're in control. Other times, you respond with questions instead of statements. Why do you think that? What makes you say that? Is that how you see it? Questions shift the burden back to them. Questions force them to explain themselves. Questions reveal their reasoning, their assumptions, their weaknesses, and you remain calm, detached, curious. The key is this: you never react from emotion, you never speak from anger, you never respond from the need to defend. You only speak when it serves your strategic interest. And most of the time, silence serves better than words. This takes practice. Your ego will resist. Your pride will demand response. Your anger will push for retaliation. But you override all of it. You maintain silence. You hold your position. You preserve your power. And over time, as you practice this, as you weaponize silence, something changes. People stop provoking you because they learn that it doesn't work. They learn that you don't react. They learn that you're not like everyone else, and they start to respect you or fear you, often both. Part 5. The calibrated response. Silence is powerful, but it's not always the answer. Sometimes you need to respond. Sometimes you need to establish boundaries. Sometimes you need to demonstrate consequences. The question is not whether to respond. The question is how. Most people respond from emotion. They match energy. Someone raises their voice, they raise theirs. Someone insults them, they insult back. Someone gets aggressive, they get aggressive. This is reactive behavior. This is losing control. This is weakness. A calibrated response is different. A calibrated response is measured. It's proportional. It's strategic. It's designed to achieve a specific outcome without escalating unnecessarily. It's the minimum effective response that establishes your position without revealing your limits. Here's the principle. You never match emotion. You respond to emotion with calm. You respond to aggression with composure. You respond to chaos with clarity. This creates asymmetry, and asymmetry creates psychological advantage. When someone is yelling and you're speaking normally, who appears in control? When someone is insulting and you're addressing the facts, who appears rational? When someone is emotional and you're detached, who appears powerful? The answer is obvious, and everyone watching sees it too. Your calibrated response has specific characteristics. First, it's delayed. You never respond immediately. Even if you know exactly what to say, you pause. You create space. You demonstrate that you're not reacting, you're choosing. Second, it's concise. You don't over-explain. You don't justify. You don't ramble. You state your position clearly, briefly, firmly. The more words you use, the weaker you appear. Power speaks in short sentences. Third, it's unemotional. Your tone is neutral. Your face is calm. Your body is relaxed. You could be discussing the weather. This creates cognitive dissonance in the other person. They're trying to provoke emotion and receiving none. It destabilizes them. It makes them doubt their approach. Fourth, it's final. You don't repeat yourself. You don't re-explain. You don't argue back and forth. You say what needs to be said once, and then you're done. If they continue, you return to silence. You've already communicated. Anything more is unnecessary. Fifth, it's actionable. If boundaries are violated, you don't just complain, you establish consequences. If you continue this behavior, I will leave. If you speak to me that way again, this conversation is over. If you cannot be respectful, we won't interact. And then you follow through. Always. This is critical. Words without action are empty. Boundaries without enforcement are meaningless. If you state a consequence and don't execute it, you teach people that you can be disrespected without cost. But if you follow through consistently, you teach them that your boundaries are real. Sometimes the calibrated response is physical removal. You simply leave, you walk away, you exit the situation. This is not running away. This is strategic withdrawal. It communicates that you don't need to engage. It communicates that your time is valuable. It communicates that you have options. And it's devastatingly effective, because most people expect you to stay and fight. They expect you to defend yourself. They expect you to engage. When you simply leave, when you remove their access to you, you deny them what they wanted. And that denial is more powerful than any argument. The calibrated response requires judgment. You need to read the situation. You need to assess the threat level. You need to determine what outcome you want, and then you respond accordingly. Not more than necessary, not less than sufficient, exactly what's required. This is the art of controlled confrontation. This is how you establish dominance without losing composure. This is how you maintain absolute cold while still addressing challenges. And when you master this, when you can calibrate your responses perfectly, you become formidable. Part 6. Training absolute cold. Understanding absolute cold is not enough. You need to train it. You need to practice it. You need to condition your nervous system to default to calm instead of chaos. And that requires deliberate, systematic training. The first training method is controlled exposure. You deliberately put yourself in situations that trigger you. Not extreme situations, manageable ones. Situations where you can practice maintaining calm while experiencing provocation. This could be sparring if you train martial arts. This could be debate if you're intellectually inclined. This could be cold exposure if you want physiological training. This could be meditation in noisy environments. The specific method doesn't matter. What matters is that you're training your nervous system to remain calm under pressure. During these training sessions, you focus on the techniques. You control your breathing, you relax your muscles, you delay your response, you maintain your composure. And every time you succeed, every time you stay calm, when you could have reacted, you reinforce the pattern. You train your nervous system that calm is possible, that control is achievable, that absolute cold is real. The second training method is visualization. Every day you spend time mentally rehearsing difficult interactions. You imagine someone insulting you. You imagine someone challenging you. You imagine someone trying to provoke you. And in your imagination, you practice your response. You see yourself breathing calmly. You see yourself relaxing your body. You see yourself pausing before responding. You see yourself speaking with clarity and composure. You see yourself maintaining absolute cold, regardless of what they do or say. This mental rehearsal programs your subconscious. It creates neural pathways that make calm responses automatic. It prepares you for real situations so that when they occur, you don't have to think. You just execute what you've already practiced 1,000 times in your mind. The third training method is daily micro-challenges. Throughout your day, you create small opportunities to practice. Control. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you practice calm. Someone is rude to you in line, you practice detachment. Someone disagrees with you online, you practice silence. These seem insignificant, but they're not. Because absolute cold is not built in extreme situations. It's built in ordinary moments. Every small victory compounds. Every minor test passed reinforces the pattern. Every micro-challenge handled perfectly makes you stronger. The fourth training method is post-interaction analysis. After every conflict, every confrontation, every challenging interaction, you review your performance. You examine what happened. You identify where you maintained control and where you lost it. You analyze what triggered you and why. You assess what worked and what didn't. This is not about guilt or shame. This is about data. This is about learning. This is about improvement. You treat each interaction as a training session, and you extract lessons that make you better next time. The fifth training method is escalation drills. You practice maintaining calm while gradually increasing stress. You start with mild discomfort and slowly increase intensity. You train yourself to expand your window of tolerance, to remain calm in situations that would have broken you before. This could be physical, holding a plank while someone talks to you. This could be mental, solving problems while listening to loud noise. This could be emotional, discussing difficult topics while maintaining composure. The method varies. The principle is constant. You expand your capacity for calm under pressure. And here's what happens when you train consistently. Absolute cold becomes automatic. It becomes your default state. You don't have to try to stay calm. You just are calm. You don't have to remember techniques. Your body executes them automatically. You don't have to think about responses. You just know what to do. This is mastery. This is what the ancients achieved. This is what you're building toward. And it's available to you if you're willing to train it systematically, relentlessly, permanently. Part 7. The life of absolute cold. When you achieve absolute cold, when you embody it completely, your entire life changes, not just in conflict, in everything. Because the ability to remain calm under pressure, the ability to control your state regardless of circumstances, the ability to operate with clarity in chaos, transforms every area of existence. Your relationships improve because you stop reacting emotionally, you stop creating drama, you stop engaging in pointless arguments. You become someone people can rely on, someone who doesn't escalate, someone who brings stability instead of chaos. And quality people are attracted to that. Your work improves because you make better decisions, you think more clearly, you handle pressure more effectively, you don't get rattled by setbacks or discouraged by criticism. You maintain focus when others panic. You execute when others freeze. And that makes you invaluable. Your health improves because you're not constantly flooding your body with stress hormones. You're not living in perpetual fight or flight. You're not carrying tension in your muscles and anxiety in your mind. Your nervous system operates in balance, and that balance creates vitality. Your presence changes. People sense it. They can't articulate it, but they feel it. You become someone who radiates calm, someone who commands respect without demanding it, someone who influences without forcing, someone who leads without trying, because absolute cold creates gravitational pull. But understand this, absolute cold is not the end. It's a way of life. It's a practice you maintain every single day. You don't achieve it and then stop. You achieve it and then protect it. You train it. You refine it, you expand it, because life will test you repeatedly, ruthlessly, endlessly. There will always be someone trying to provoke you, always be situations designed to break your composure, always be circumstances that challenge your control. And your job is to pass every test, to maintain your cold, to demonstrate your mastery. And when you do this, when you live this way, when you embody absolute cold in every interaction, you become untouchable. You become unbreakable. You become unstoppable, not because nothing affects you, but because you choose what affects you. And that choice is ultimate power.